Hello and welcome back to another episode of Oh, right. Yeah. In this
I thought this
episode,
one was called Gallstone and the Little Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Gallstones and the Little Guy.
You already said that.
Oh, no, but you're going to repeat Gallstones.
Yeah, so yeah.
Sorry. No, you handle it.
No.
No.
Welcome back to another episode of Oh, right. Yeah. So you've thrown me now, you fucking bitch.
This week we're going to be talking... In this episode, we're going to be talking about...
In this episode, we are going to be talking about getting stuck in your jumper, gallstones and...
Twin telepathy.
Twin telepathy. Stay tuned. Welcome back.
Hello there.
Can you believe it? We're at, I think it's episode 10.
10 million.
No.
Welcome back to another episode of Gallstones and the Little Guy.
Yeah, got my little mate here.
Who's that guy? Who's that little guy? I'm still laughing about the height difference between me and Mirren.
You and Mirren, that
Kind
was
of find that name hard to say.
quite the difference. Well, I mean, gallstones is my new nickname because I have gallstones.
Yeah, congratulations, I guess.
I mean, it's just like I can't.
How many is there?
I don't know. She said
Boys,
multiple.
girls?
No, so I went in on Monday morning with like the most severe pain I've ever had in my life. Like I would put it up there with my worst contraction and childbearing with no drugs.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I know, it was horrendous.
And it's just like a small stone.
Well, I don't know. So I went into the hospital, waited for ages, and your man did the kind of wheelie in ultrasound, and he was like,
What wheelie in? Oh, the
like
thing on the
yeah,
little
just-
microphone.
He was only a little one, yeah. And
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, oh, we just see sludge, you'll be grand, kind of thing, and go to your doctor if it flares up again.
Yeah.
But then the following day, I was like, no, this is like, it was St. Patrick's Day. I was like, this isn't right. I'm not, like, I can't. The pain is so bad, and I'm really, really, really sick with it. So, like, my energy might be low, just to warn you. But
Mine also.
no harm in that.
No harm.
Yeah,
No
we'll
harm done.
We'll get on
A
to
different kind of vibe, if you will. Maybe less
Incense.
funny. I don't know.
Incense. Who knows? But so I went back in. I realised I actually had private health insurance. I was like, fuck it, let's go back in. And I went back in. I was like, just, can you do more tests because there's something wrong?
Yeah.
And yeah, they found multiple gallstones.
But you look
And-
great.
Well, that's,
Do you get to keep them in a jar?
I've no. I'd say I don't know actually. I wonder if it's like the
I'd like
placenta
to.
where you can. No,
I asked to keep one of my teeth, and he said no because there was a lot of bone hanging off it. Or it was like they had to cut it into too many parts to take
Charming.
it out. I also wanted to keep a fibroid of mine, but it was too small.
lovely collection there.
Yeah.
No, I look nice because of the wonder of showers and makeup. So I would liken myself to a polished turd. Actually, at the moment, because I feel shit on the inside.
Well, you look fab.
Thanks,
It
love.
must be there's gradual fake tan you told me about.
No, but that's actually worn off. Going on to my next
Wow.
one. I've worked my way through about 6 different gradual fake tans. And
What's
I'm
your
kind of
favourite?
deciding- I like Vogue's one.
Drop some brand names there.
I like Vogue's one. I like Vogue's one.
Vogue, fair play to you.
Yeah, well done, Vogue. Well done, Vogue. And if you're ever looking for a plug or a sting, but that brings me on to the topic of what we're going to talk
Men
about
or Bears
today.
by Vogue.
Men or bears?
Bear by Vogue.
Oh, bear. Rawr. Yeah, so it's not going to be a funny podcast. Brings me on to the topic of our podcast today.
Yeah, okay, go
which
on.
is pain. Yeah, because
Wow.
Yeah, because we've been going into like deeper topics, and we're actually finding they're suiting us a lot more.
Emotional pain or physical pain?
Well, I think we can cover both.
I wasn't briefed.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
catching
think,
up.
I think we can cover both. I mean, I've gone into the gallstones, but I will say one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I was doing a lot of talking around my midwife reels last week. A lot of mums getting in touch to be like so pissed off they weren't heard. Horrible diagnoses, getting dropped at the bedside, like really blasé,
Mm-hmm.
and the midwife storms off or walks off or whatever, and they're feeling ignored and unheard.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a tidal wave of midwives coming back to be like, well, we're under pressure. We're not paid enough. We're working
So
way
you've
too many
opened up a
hours.
huge conversation there.
Huge conversation.
That's amazing.
Which it is really fascinating. But the only thing, kind of the undercurrent that seems to be thematic through the whole thing is that women aren't feeling heard. And it
Yeah.
is specifically women
Yeah.
that I'm talking about here, because there has been the drop of the term patriarchy, and we can get into that in another episode. But this patriarchal system that has been run by men for hundreds of years, it's still kind of apparent there, and women just aren't being heard. So I had this in the back of my head when I was going in about the gallstones. I was
Yeah.
like, because I could hear myself being like, I don't know, I'm grand, you don't mind me, you know. And then I said, look, I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to pain. And the doctor stopped me. He's like, well, Laura, you've given birth twice. Like, and I'm looking at your records here, you're not a wuss. I was like,
Was it a man or a woman out of interest?
so a man the first time, And a
interesting.
woman the second time who got me the gallstones found an ovarian cyst as well, which is lovely.
Yeah, you see, the negative chat around the power dynamic and the patriarchy exists through experience. It doesn't exist because I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, it's a man. Me and Audrey have also had experiences where a man specialist was ready to send her home and a midwife stepped in and said, look, I hate to do this. It's embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for him. She was like, I had to go against what he was saying. You're definitely staying in. And she ended up being on an IV for 2 days. And I'm like, okay, like the recognizable negativity or bad experiences are there. But when the average overpowers the reality of the situation or the male or female dynamic, then you've got something to back it. You've got first-hand experience to back it.
Yeah.
And I like to play devil's advocate. I'm a little bit overreactive. Maybe it's just the energy and my passion and the way I approach things. But I will definitely try to like listen to every side of every situation. I love playing devil's advocate. It's a new game that I'm playing at the moment in my own head when it comes to my
actual video game.
No. But I wouldn't put it past me. But no, in my own life, personally, I'm learning to step back and see the wood from the trees, the birds from the trees. I don't know, the rabbit from
wood
the
from the
hat.
trees, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it is kind of, in personally speaking, it's a little bit overpowering the negative experience, and then your brain can't unattach itself from that.
Yeah,
because it's a man that sent you home and said you were fine.
You know, I think it's more the power dynamic. That's what I feel for me, and generally that does come from. There's a lot of men in power, and there's a lot of women in power, but I think it does generally come from men. I kind of feel this. I'm not hysterical. I'm not going to be hysterical. I'm not being overdramatic. I don't want to be a whinger. I don't want to put anyone out here. And there's that kind of feeling. Like I also had in the back of my head, to make it really dark, my mum died at 41 from something that went undiagnosed for 4 visits to the doctor. So she went to the doctor. Oh no, it's a floating rib, they called it. Oh no, you've done something to your ribs from coughing too much. Oh no, you're just, I think, malnourished or post-viral. Yeah. So the 5th time she went back, they did her bloods. And that's when she found out she had leukemia.
It took 5 times to do bloods.
So this was in my head. And I said, fuck it. When I went back in, I was like, look, my mother died of leukemia at 41, which I didn't realise, but it does put you at a higher instance of getting leukemia, which I don't think it's a big instance. But I was like, I'm going to fucking say it. And you know what? Nobody was like, oh God, there's a hysterical one in bay number 2. They were just like, yeah, grand. I think
the eye rolling that we expect doesn't even happen with men or women.
Does, but I don't give a fuck.
Maybe, do you maybe think it's a thing that you feel safer to talk to a woman the way you wouldn't talk to a man?
I think so. I definitely think so.
Maybe it's down to confidence of dialogue.
Maybe.
Or knowing that they can empathetically listen because they're a woman too, and you just presume that there's this mutual understanding. Like, I went to, on the topic of pain and internal pain, I've been, I've officially diagnosed now with the ADHD, and severe was in the diagnosis on the chart.
Severe?
So, yeah.
Not profound, but severe. It's
just severe.
It's a bad one.
Yeah,
it's a bad one.
She's off the Richter scale.
Get this right, jackets.
But yeah, no, and I went to, I've been struggling with mental health for, about a year now. Really, really hard. And I don't know, it's being a female as well, you're able to talk about your cycle and how it affects you, and people knowing what you talk, what you're talking about when you talk about the anger and something that takes over, and you just want to be like, ugh. That feeling that rises in you. For some people get it for 2 days of the month. I get it for 10 to 12 days of the month.
Oh, you do, yeah.
So yeah, and you've known me to be complaining about this absolute rage that you cannot see in front of you because of anger, reactivity, and all the rest. So I did. Got the diagnosis first, and then I was like, I wonder, should I just chance going to the VHI Women's Clinic to talk to a female about hormones and that area of my life that I've been really struggling with it. And I will say pain, but maybe more of a struggle than pain. But honestly, I was battling with something and I didn't know what it was. So psychologically, I mean, with my relationships, with work, with every single thing felt like it was just a horrific burden, and all the guilt fell on me. So yeah, in essence, it ended up being pain. So I went to chat to her, and I just opened up, and I felt so accepted. But conversations that I'd had with my GP, who's a man, and I'm not here to men hate, and I know the manosphere stuff is all coming out now. I'm not at all. But I think that I've now come to the bottom of it, and I'm glad that I asked you the question, but I really think that it was an openness talking to a woman. And even if she had opposing opinions to me, I'd still feel comfortable to say more to her.
Yeah, it's
and maybe
weird.
that's a me thing and not a them thing.
I think that is, and I mean, I'd say sometimes a lot of men would say they feel more comfortable talking to men. I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It is like it is a weird one though, isn't it? Because
it's a power dynamic though.
It's kind of a sisterhood thing, and I think this is the one thing I've noticed with the midwife parents conversation that I've kind of, unexpectedly found myself in the middle of a little bit, is kind of, okay, the infighting needs to stop now, guys, and we need to kind of band together and figure out what's systemically wrong here. That women are going in on a daily basis, thousands of women. I had a midwife on the live last week, and she said they were expecting 4,000 babies in the Coombe in 1 year, and they got 8,000. So 8,000 in one hospital. That's 8,000 labours. Like that's, and the pain and the trauma and the postnatal depression and the danger and the potential suicide, all of everything that comes out of that. It's just so run of the mill. It's brush your teeth run of the mill. And women are just expected to lump this because, it's better to do it without painkillers. Yeah, I agree, we can do what we can. But when you look at the labours that go wrong, and I have had hundreds, and I mean hundreds of messages from women with really heartbreaking stories that I couldn't turn into a reel because it wasn't funny. Going through this horrendous pain. And what I'm seeing from all of this is that, oh God, finally people are talking about this. It's okay to say it wasn't okay. Yeah. And that's what I feel like. That's so heartbreaking that women are finally able to go, okay, we can actually talk about this now. Oh God, mine was hell. And I've had women messaging me going, I'm not sure if you're going to read this, but I haven't told anyone else about this yet. And they go on to tell me a horrible labour story, and they go, do you know what? Even if you don't read this, it was really cathartic or therapeutic writing it. And so there's something in it. Like we need to collect ourselves together and go, guys, it's okay to not be okay, and we need to hold our own in that and not kind of have this best kept secret.
It's almost like a hunt for advocacy and
advocacy.
Yeah, do you know exactly? Yeah, and you do think about it. My brain goes to what's the solution?
Yeah,
always immediate solution, fast fix, quick fix. Even if it's a plaster, even the medication with the ADHD. I don't know if I'm going to be on it for a long time, but if it fixes something for now, life's too short to struggle with what I've been struggling with. It's a really amazing conversation, and to get so many messages.
Oh, it was
insane.
I found myself kind of dreading opening my Instagram because I'd know there'd be at least 30, 40 at a time of these messages.
But you started something amazing.
And I just hope, I don't know what the next thing is. But going back to just our own pain and experiencing pain, I was just thinking of something when you were talking about the way we don't want to share it with other doctors. When I was 12 and I broke my leg after being knocked down by a car, what happened, so as I said, the big bone was snapped, the little bone had come out through the skin. I had to go into an operation. Disgusting. A lot. I had to go into a theatre to get it fixed, and I woke up that night. There was 2 other people in the room, 2 other patients, and I'm assuming you've had a muscle spasm before.
Yeah.
So I was getting that in my leg, on the broken leg. And I'd say that was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. Like, definitely up there. It gets probably the bronze medal of the pain Olympics. But I remember just sitting there crying and trying not to make a noise and biting my pillow because I didn't want to upset anyone else in the ward. Finally, a nurse came around and I said it to her about an hour in. But there's this weird thing that we just don't want to, or like when I was knocked down by the car, I was like, hello, help. Yeah, you don't want to put people out by your pain, or is that just me? Do you know what I mean? And I'm a dramatic person.
I know, me too. But I think it's a cultural thing. I think really thinking long and hard about it, I think it's an Irish cultural thing. Yeah,
I think it is. And you do a lot of this on your Instagram.
Don't mind me. Sorry, now I'll just I'll let myself out. Like that kind of thing. I've a lot of my friends all through all the jobs that I've ever had, not even in the unprofessional realm, in the professional realm, a lot of them haven't been Irish. So multicultural. Even my good mate, she lives 2 doors down. She's Polish, right? I absolutely adore that. But their straightforwardness is so palpable. Like, you're like, holy shit, you'd just say it to someone. Not a bother. Don't think twice about it. If they want something, they ask for it. Yeah. And it's also something that I can't get my head around because it's so apparent, and I've experienced in my life that they are like this and they were born like this, and we are like this because we were born like this. But why can't we, if we know that it's there, how can we change it? And it's like the advocacy with the whole midwife stuff. Yeah. If you're born with it, how can you change it? And you've brought so many people together now, and it's like, what's the next step? You have no idea. As long as you keep talking about it, keep creating this conversation. It's really, really important not to be silenced. But I do really feel like it's an amazing topic because now you have to think about asking for what you want or asking for what you need,
telling people what you need, telling people what you need,
that you're putting someone out.
Yes, that's it. And I don't know.
A deep breath before you go into the GP every single time to go, no, actually disagree with your Google search there.
Listen to Carmina Burana on the thing.
Yeah.
Swarm in, ride the Valkyries.
Yeah, have a little flag.
Yeah. What's the most pain you've been in? Physically?
Can't remember getting knocked down. That is not in my memory as physical pain at all. Probably a wisdom tooth or sciatica.
Oh yeah, sciatica's bad. That's the one where it goes down the hip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a squashed nerve.
Yeah.
So you're just like this all the time and you just have to lie flat. No, actually, hang on. I think there's something worse. My knee frequently hopping out of place and hopping back in again, and then but also I used to go back to work the next day even though I would be limping and I'd have to like bandage it up. So in that moment it's very sharp and short, but like chronic back pain, but it's not like, oh, I can't believe it just is.
So you're doing it now. Do you know what I mean? You're actually apologising for your pain there. You go, oh, do you know, chronic back pain, but sure, you know, that's
no. I'm not apologising for it. I'm saying that I don't know any different. So I'm not apologising for it at all because, I'm just saying I wouldn't really say that I've experienced something incredibly sore. Oh, Audrey threw me off the side of her bed once, and I literally have a chip.
Abby, calm down. Jack's our first time producer here.
Calm down, Jack.
I don't hear about the sex Olympics here now.
She threw me off the bed. We were just...
Was it sexing? It was sexing. I won't shush.
Might be.
You've talked about sex.
It may have been, okay? Leave it open to the viewers.
Go, Audrey.
A, sex. B, not sex. C, could have been.
D, tickling.
So, yeah, little tickle. Oh, my God. Do you have tickles? Oh, it's just even like, yeah, do you have tickles?
That was the go-to for flirting. It was the go-to for flirting.
Maybe.
I definitely did that when I was a teenager.
We were messing around and I think I was holding her down.
Oh my God.
And then she's got really strong legs. So strong that we didn't know how strong they were until I went flying up into the air, at least 4 feet into the air, and fell down on the side of the bed and literally chipped the bone in my shin. Like there's a dent.
Audrey!
There's a dent about that big. And I think that's, come to think of it, that's the worst pain I've ever been in. Didn't go to the doctor, didn't go to the hospital, nothing. It is just a severely dented bone. I've never broken a bone in my life, but that was horrific. She was just like, what do we do? Both naked, like panicking. Like, what do we do? Do you have to go? The ambulance? I was like, I don't know. I couldn't even speak. I was in so much pain. But also maybe being dramatic about it for just the effect to make her feel a little bit bad.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, if you go on the day-to-day painful, like I standing on an upturned plug or a Lego piece, I'd say, and you can't put that anger anywhere. You're like, I'm so fucking annoyed at, like, and you want to give out to the kids for leaving
really
it there
painful though.
It is awful pain. Obviously, waxing, horrendous.
Never done it.
Oh, laser. And I would say, when you start going out with someone, trapping in farts.
Pain?
Oh,
I've never done it. I've never trapped in a fart.
Tomboy, big mad tomboy.
You know when you got into the car this morning, full of them. Didn't tell you. Absolutely.
The car was full of them.
Full of them.
I didn't say.
I didn't let them out.
You were like, the car smells like gone off bananas. Sorry, Jude left something there. No, it was your arse.
No rotten milk.
Oh my God.
But yeah, full of them. That'd be the protein.
No, I would have been trapped in farts.
Or like the pain. I just went back to the gym, guys.
Oh, here we go.
Delighted with myself. The pain of going up a stairs or trying to sit on the loo after you've done a bit of
when you're all
legs
like
and bum
going
day.
to the toilet,
Or when you leave and you're trying to be cool leaving and you're like
onto the toilet,
Or try not to pass out when you do a part time. There was only 2 people in the gym. I literally
getting lost in my
morning.
jumper. Yeah.
It was terrible. There's a whole walkway. So it's like the gym's in Wexford and it's a hotel as well, but there's a walkway to the pool. It's glass, like all the way down. And there's this one room where you do the kettlebells are in one room and all the machines are in the other. And I was just like trying to get off the rowing machine while undecided as to whether I want to take it off this way or this way, and one arm was in and the other arm was out, and just my t-shirt was just all up and it got caught on the back of my neck, and I messaged you in a panic after, but like
as
at
a
least
go-to now.
few,
Like
at
your
least 3 or
go-to.
4 people
I
walked
get,
by,
like,
just like.
I just get like punctuations of your day. Like, you know, I've done the gym, I got lost.
I got
I
trapped.
did a great poo. Like, I just get, I got trapped in my, are you still in the jumper? Are you still trapped
you
in the
need
jumper?
help?
Yeah. No, there's something weird about like embarrassing about pain as well, or like just stupid, like when you fall. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and you're looking to blame the, like, oh,
Yeah,
watch out,
yeah.
what? Look at that. There's a stone.
who put that bloody curve there? You're totally so embarrassing. This happened to me. I was coming out of work in 10. I was in my 20s, and I was wearing my mum's boots from the 80s, so that they were soleless. They were like shiny, clickety clack. And I was walking along. Yeah, I was walking along, and I slid and fell into kind of like a proposal pose, like and smacked. And I was like so embarrassed that I started to get up and I started to pretend I was in loads of pain because it was on Wicklow Street and it was fucking rammed with people. Like, I was like, and then I felt something smack me on the head and I looked up and a pigeon had shat on my head.
Oh,
So that was a dignified moment.
looking around to see who's looking I think it's possibly like the worst feeling ever, or like trying to look and see if it's the curb's fault and not your own.
Yeah, or like, have you ever seen someone fall onto the dart? Fucking brilliant. And they're all like,
I remember.
cool about it. Oh, who put that door there?
Stupid step. I remember I looked up to Dawn French and Mr. Bean as a kid, very much so,
same.
with the slapstick stuff and the kind of silent comedy stuff. And I was trying to replay. I was such a weird kid. Oh my God. I was trying to replay one of Mr. Bean's skits where he has his eyes closed and he's doing the hand gestures and everything, just like trying to guess.
I don't remember that sketch.
I can't remember what it was particularly about, but he's all like,
I can picture it. Yeah.
trying to replay that, and I slammed on the way back, and it was all really embarrassing as well because we were being collected by my mom's friend, so it wasn't even my own parents or my own sister. It was like other people witnessing it. It was just me walking around with my eyes closed. I banged into the wall of their garden, but on my lip, so both of my lips started to balloon up, and we were going on a school tour and I had to explain to everybody. They're like, what happened? I was just like, I was trying to be Mr. Bean. And that's literally all that I could say. Just walked into a wall.
This is kind of unrelated, but myself and Kathy, my friend growing up, we were sitting on the dart facing each other, and I used to always be like this. Imagine if I'm a stranger. Games we used to always play. I was like, we were about 17 at the time, so a bit weird. And we were sitting opposite each other, and I was like, okay, imagine I'm a stranger and you're staring at me. So I was pretending to be asleep, and then I started like giving her the finger, and she was like, oh, ha ha ha, it was really funny. I said, okay, you do it to me now. You're the stranger. Fall asleep, and then you can start giving me. And as soon as she did it, I ducked around and hid. So then she was just closing her eyes, giving the finger to the rest of the carriage. And then she walked. I was spying her, and she opened up, and she's like, "Sorry."
So good. Did you used to play Would You Be Friends With Me If?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Would you be friends with me if I walk like this?
Yeah. Go on, give me one.
Would you be friends with me if I had to count backwards from 10 every time we hung out together at least 5 times?
Yeah. Yeah, I tolerate
okay, that's
that.
not a good one. That's not a good
Would you
one.
be
I think
friends?
more
Would you be
physical
friends
ones.
with me if I like kind of had a constant smell of human shit on my person?
Your own?
Just you? Would you? It was never explained. It was never explained. Just a kind of a.
I would avoid hanging out with you.
And I got really defensive every time you brought it. You wouldn't do a podcast.
No, I'd never bring it up.
Yeah.
Jesus, don't bring it up. It could be hurtful. Would
Stop
you be
turning away
friends?
from the bloody camera.
Sorry there. Would you be friends with me if I ate other people's toenails?
No, because there's something wrong with you that hasn't gone diagnosed. So I would like, I don't really
Like
want
one
to
of
go
those
through the
weird
whole mental
TLC
health thing
shows.
again.
My weird addiction.
Yeah.
I eat drywall.
Okay, would you be friends with me if, okay, bringing it back to pain, if I, no, eating people's toenails is
If you
very
were
good.
hypochondriac, no.
No, are you trying to fucking imply that my gallstones? That is like, but that's also a fear, is that people don't believe me. I was
You
actually
have
so relieved. I
gallstones.
was so relieved when they said
You
that
have
to
proof.
me. I was so relieved. Like that.
They took pictures of them.
They did. They took little cute pictures. I'll try and post if I get them.
Is it like a round
I don't know. I picture them like pebbles. I don't know.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
fucking-
Like misshapen
the
pebbles.
worst thing is, so the flare up is like the contraction pain, and it's absolutely horrifying. As I said,
How do they get out of you?
I think they go out through the bile duct and then into your intestines, I think. But like I have a friend who hit off her liver and she was in hospital for it. So I'm just waiting for something like that to happen. So I like last night I was going to bed and I'm like, I feel
You're ready for something to get stuck and not
I'm
come
just
out?
waiting for a serious pain. So I'm like, oh my God,
just
please hurry up. But then we get on to like emotional pain. Obviously something I suffered hugely last year. And I think, I don't know if I prefer physical pain. Like when I'm in the throes of it, I'm like, just end it now. end it now. But when it's in your head, when the pain is there, like people who are going through heartbreak, loss of a loved one, loss of a child, people miscarrying, breakups, all these kind of things. For me, the only times I've felt these extreme is my major anxiety and depression and my subsequent breakdown last year, and then the loss of my mum. And it's the same feeling like, how do I get out of this? How does this end? So with my gallbladder pain at the moment, it's like it's there, but I can manage it. It's there, and I can lean into it and think about it, but if I can kind of try and ignore it.
Yeah.
But when I had the contraction pain the attack pain on Monday, I was just like screaming. I actually said, I think I'm dying at one point, like not dramatic at all. but like that kind of like, how do I escape this? How do I escape this?
Yeah.
And so with the mental pain, that's that horrible, that's what you're facing. You're like, how I do not see a way around this. And it is so hard. And that's why with both physical pain and mental pain, we have to ask for help. And because if we don't, we don't see a way around this pain, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like, and also like, I guess the physical is just like, it's going to come to an end when it gets fixed.
Painkillers will kill it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe they don't work on you, or maybe it's a bigger thing, or maybe it's a terminal illness. Like there's that aspect to it as well. But the internal stuff is like, you can...
So abstract, like
it's abstract, but it's also like very fluid insofar as you can make yourself feel on top of the world one day.
Yeah.
And then you do not have a clue why it's going to plummet, how it's going to happen, what's going to make it happen. So it's entirely unpredictable and in a lot of ways entirely out of your control.
So that's
I mean,
the thing.
unless you're like, like way down, like you were like self-harming and at the rock bottom, and you said, rock bottom stops when you stop digging. But I think the way to deal, the inherent and fundamental way that we deal with pain is to keep digging.
Unfortunately, we have a self-destruct. Like I don't really know
how the brain
like,
works, right?
It's weird. Like, and I think so. I've always had like anxiety, always my whole life, and I've went from when I was 19 to about 25. I just didn't really talk about it at all because it just wasn't a thing. And
was it? Can I ask you a question about it?
Yeah.
Was it what other people thought of you, or was it just about everything? Was it about natural disaster? Was it about
it was
world
irrational.
explode?
So generally with my anxiety, and I think it's the same with a lot of people, you're just generally anxious, and it's probably symptomatic of something greater. Like, I wonder what it could have been with me. Possibly my weird fucked up childhood, this sort of stuff. But then when it comes down to the panic attack, it's generally about something irrational. So I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to faint.
Really?
For me,
so physical stuff?
Yeah, for me, I was really scared of the spirity stuff, like that we touched on, because obviously of everything that happened. Totally, so that would leave me really, really panicked. Like if people start talking about, we're going to do guided meditation, I'd be like, and I'd have to leave. So I would save up when I'd have to go to a house where I didn't know people. I'd save up toilet breaks, because I'd be like, okay, get in there for half an hour and then I can go to the toilet. And I wouldn't need to go to the toilet just so that I knew I could leave the room.
Wow, and there were all this like preparation, and all this choreograph was around the fact that a topic would come up that you may have
not
to
even.
excuse
I just might
yourself
start.
for.
I might start thinking of something that would make me anxious, and I'd be like, okay, so at least I know I can go out and have a break. Do you know what I mean? And so it
So
wasn't.
you were scared of what's going on in your own head,
In
never
my own
mind the
head,
environment.
I could just think of something, or someone could just say something.
Wow,
like something really, really scary happened when I was 11, very, very scary at home, and I had completely forgotten about it. I was having dinner when I was 15, and my dad brought it up, and it just all came flooding back to me, and I was like, holy shit. So and that just triggered all these things. And so we don't know, especially when you've got kind of like a mentally fragmented upbringing. These things can just come up out of nowhere. But what really helped was talking about it. The term anxiety, the term panic attacks became way more prevalent. Now here I am talking about it on a podcast. I'm able to talk about these things now, and it makes it so much less terrifying. And we're seeing it with the midwife stuff. This anxiety of, can I say enough? Can I actually go and say, do you know what, childbirth, breastfeeding, perinatal stuff is absolutely horrific, and I think it's okay for us to say that.
Yeah, and it's funny, isn't it? Because you think about like what you blocked out, and that was your childhood brain going, you're not allowed to ever think about this again until you can, or until you're told about it, and then it just hits you like a ton of bricks. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. That's one of the reasons I'm scared to take psychedelics, is what goes on in my brain and what my brain could present to me, even if it is like, because a lot of memories, especially for recently I learned for ADHD brains, twins, a lot of your memories can be based on what other people have told you visually, and it might not actually be a memory, or vice versa.
Oh, wow.
So you may have forgotten loads of stuff that actually happened, and then someone presents it to you but tells it in a different way, and you only remember that version of it, not your own. So you haven't created, it's almost like you've masked and took on someone else's memory.
Wow.
So, yeah, so like that's the only reason I've never taken psychedelics.
I'll tell you something about, actually, when you're talking about taking on someone else's memory, I was thinking about Danielle, my twin, obviously taking on her memories. We do that a lot. I'd be like, that happened to me. She'd be like, no, fucking happened to me. And we don't know. But when Danielle is in pain, it has happened that I have woken. So when I got knocked down by a car, Danielle knew something had happened. I was in Canada, and it generally happens when we're far apart from each other. I'm really not lying about this. We were in Canada.
That's fucking amazing.
I know. I woke in the middle of the night and I was like, something's wrong with Danielle. It's something to do with her boyfriend. What's going on? So I texted her in the middle of the night and said, what's going on? And she just said, yeah, me and my boyfriend have just broken up. And I was like, oh, and there was no way that I could have known that. And that's happened a few times. Physical pain, not so much, but I do, like, there has been times when she got pregnant unexpectedly, I missed my period. And, you know, we've had kind of strange, like, kind of
that is
in sync things.
But you were made together.
Yeah, same DNA, which I think is twins are fucking weird. Like it's one egg, one sperm split in two. It's one person. Absolute freaks.
And then you got all these like stereotypicals, like, oh, they must have the same brain. And my first cousins are twins, and my grandmother was a twin. So like, I just have always found it fascinating. But I could always tell my cousins apart, even though they're identical. But it's strange as well, because I think you have the same brain. It's like, oh, one of them's gay, one of them's not. You hear these stories of the separated and then knowing and being able to finish each other's sentence, and like growing up in different families, but being this in a lot of ways that your brain chemistry is the same.
Yeah, and that is definitely
and nature
weird.
Nurture comes into it, right?
Nature nurture comes into it, yeah, because basically, like, my panic attacks and anxiety were all around like demons, spirit world. Danielle's were all around fainting. So we had we had the same childhood but different anxieties. Do you know what I mean? We both, interestingly, hate getting waxed, bikini waxed. Like, we both have the same. And my friend who does the waxing, she's just like, we both scream in pain, and so we're both like weirdly like
dramatic.
Yeah.
Equally as dramatic as one another.
Hysterical. Do you know what I mean? So we both have the same kind of, but then she'd have different, like, she gets this, oh my God, she gets this itch on her soft palate. And I'm going to lean away from the mic for this. She goes like this when it's itching her. Does this ever happen to you? Because she gets histamine or something. No,
but I hear
eat that. And she does that. In fact, Danielle,
oh
she goes,
God. Danielle, don't ever do that beside me.
Does she ever do it in the office with you? Oh,
don't
my
ever do
God.
it beside me. Yeah, I will smack you.
It is. So I don't ever do that. Do you know what I mean? But we do have like different things that we kind of sync
Why
up
does
with.
your soft palate itch? I've had it a
I'd
couple
say
of
it's
times, but it's very strange.
Allergies.
Oh.
That's another thing I was going to go on to about pain, is like, oh my God, have you ever had like rashes and stuff? I think I'd take pain over like a rash. Or have you ever had prickly sunburn? What's it called? Oh, it's
prickly heat.
Prickly heat. Oh,
it's horrific. I've been all my life allergic to sun cream. My skin isn't like translucent white, but I put an after sun on that actually made my sunburn 10 times worse because
this
of
happened to Dancer. This happened to Dancer. It was an
all
aloe
over
vera
me.
and it made her yeah.
All over me for 2 days. I was like lying flat. Couldn't move. My skin was like pulled tight.
Oh my God.
It was like really bad. Yeah, so all of that happened. Oh, actually, yeah, I've been in physical pain like that.
There you go. Yeah, that, I mean, that's because it's not like how you say pain. It's just it's high.
It's nerdy and it's a rash.
Discomfort. Dancer had prickly heat once, and she was going crazy around the house. This is so juicy for Jack because Jack works for Dancer, so he's just like, I'm getting loads of tea on my bus.
Hey, Danny, remember that time you had prickly heat?
And you can be like, I've seen it all. So she had this heat and she was going mad. She was going buck wild. She's about 23 and she's like,
it's awful.
I actually had to go in her face, like slap her in the face, and she was like,
okay, just need to freeze her.
I actually was like one of those moments out of Western or, you know, the fucking old black and white movies. Put yourself together, woman.
It's like someone's putting... It's needles. Like someone's tattooing your entire body.
Oh, it's just... Oh. I don't mind tattoos, actually, do you?
No, me neither. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's weird.
What's wrong with us?
A lot
of people could agree. I think, when it gets to the point of no return and you're like, I can't, like it's 3 hours in, I can't.
It is the 3 hour mark, though, because I think after 2 hours, your body kind of, the adrenaline wears off. Because anytime I've had one longer than 2 hours, that is where it starts to go, okay, this is like a cat.
Eat a Mars bar and have a bottle of Lucozade.
And some paracetamol. Paracetamol, there you go, there's some paracetamol.
There you go.
The answer to everyone's fucking problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like going back to the emotional pain, like anxiety, I would liken anxiety to kind of the rash discomfort, and then depression to like a pain. So like in my head, like anxiety is so terrifying and unpleasant and up there, and you're like, it's just so constant, like the prickly heat, whereas depression is like this agonizing pain that you can see and deal with, and how, or not deal with, like how do I get around it? I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, but like you had the courage, and like,
I would say I had the fear. I was so scared.
No, but you had the courage to get yourself out of it.
But I was so scared that I was like, it's this or death, you know. So like I had to get myself out of this.
You had to be vulnerable to go there in the first place and admit yourself, and like,
do you know what really annoys me?
Strength comes out of it. I think we need it, because I think we need physical and mental pain, heartache. We need it all to feel something else, because there has to be, there's a positive and negative, and a pro and a contra to everything on this universe. And I think that all I can say that is I know myself more, and I feel like I can be a better person because I've done shitty things. I've been shitty to people. People have been shitty to me. I've gone through, I wouldn't really call it depression. Maybe in the last 12 months, I got as close to what I thought, as described by other people to me, was for me. But I've got such an energetic and impulsive personality that nothing ever stays for too long, and I'm really, really stubborn. So I was convinced that if I was feeling down, that like doing something very practical will help, and oftentimes it did, but it didn't actually solve the bigger picture. The bigger picture was that I'd go up and then straight back down again, and up and straight back down again. So it was more like a yo-yo effect. So it wasn't down. I would never have been bedridden, close to, but not feeling like I couldn't get up in the morning. And that's when I knew that something was wrong. But like, yeah, I think the shitty things have to happen.
That was kind of what you're saying, is the shitty things have to well, yeah, they do have to happen. If I hadn't gone into hospital last year, I wouldn't be who I am today. I think we need pain to form us. If I hadn't gone through what I went through last year, I wouldn't be where I am, which is the happiest I've ever been in my life. Yeah. Life is still fucking hard. Both cars have broken. Cat got bitten on the fucking head. Got infected. I got gallstones. Like the two kids we're going through a lot with them, with diagnosis and stuff like that. So it's just been non-stop. But in all that, my underlying self is happy. I haven't drank for a year, which is like so liberating as well. Like I'm finding so much happiness in having gone through that pain, unfortunately. And it keeps us in check, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does keep us in check, and it gives us, for me, it's like the downward comparison. Well, I'll never be there again, so I can get better from this, and it also helps. But I think the most important thing about it is that if we don't talk about it, we allow everybody to just continue on martyring. My friend said to me today, I was like, I don't drink anymore, so I don't really know if I can be taking painkillers if they give them to me, because she's given me some codeine painkillers. My friend was like, Laura, there are graves full of martyrs out there. And I was like, that's true. And I think when I look at the midwife piece, look at the perinatal depression. 8 women died of suicide, I think, in the last year or 3 years, I'm not sure, because of perinatal depression. So I am a firm believer that postnatal depression needs to be talked about more and more and more, because
what's perinatal depression? Or
postnatal depression.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Okay. So like I was in hospital with a woman, as you know, who had postnatal depression, and the more we spoke about it, the easier it became. Yeah. Wow. So if we continue to martyr, nobody else knows that it's okay to be in pain. So if I had taken on the kind of don't mind me on Monday, and I went into the emergency room and just sat with it, I'd be sitting here talking to you, confused as to why I'm not better, worrying about the pain. Probably would have had a worse flare up last night because I wouldn't have been given the painkillers. Yeah. And I wouldn't have said, fuck this, I'm going in to advocate for myself and I'm going to ask for help. The same with me in the mental hospital last year. The same with you with your near depression in the last year. You need to talk about it. And the same with us in this podcast, right? Because we're getting messages all the time from people saying, thank you for being so open about this, because it's making it easier for me. Stop being a fucking martyr. Don't be a whinger. Yeah, but like, but stop being a martyr about it.
So if you're to think about the if you're to think about the demographic, do you think the martyrdom is of a generation? Because
it's
like,
getting worse.
certainly,
It's getting sorry.
it's
I
getting
think
better.
Well, I don't know. But is social media making it worse as well?
No,
Like, is there? But I think there's mothers.
Social media is giving people a platform. It's giving people a voice. It's the only reason that I went to get my ADHD diagnosis.
Well, yeah, in that sense.
And there was literally a path to becoming more compassionate towards myself. That's proof.
Okay,
right there.
that's one way.
Yeah.
But then there's the other way when you look at mothers jumping out of bed after 2 days postpartum, being like, I'm breastfeeding. Like,
oh yeah, I can get a body like hers
I
again.
can get a body like hers again. I'm absolutely fine. My house is perfect. I'm doing great. And yeah, I had gallstones, but of course I'm going to go back to work. There's definitely that. I mean, and all the manosphere shit. Like, there is stuff happening in the world that's making us think I need to be better than, I need to be more than, and therefore I can't own up to my failings. And my failing is
or
pain,
the pressure of needing to not be the martyr is also terrifying the shit out of people.
You think? Yeah,
I think so. Like everything in moderation. Like, but this society now is not moderate. Nothing about it is moderate. Mm-hmm. All the news is not moderate. All the news is not evenly left and right. It's veering so far from democracy that you find a spokesperson, and if you're not 100% with them, you get cancelled and you get left out.
Where does that come in the pain piece?
That comes in the pain piece I think it comes back to the martyring thing.
Yeah.
Like, to not be in pain anymore, you have to not martyr yourself. So therefore you can't keep yourself down. Therefore you need to talk. It's really easy to talk because it's easy to talk now. It's easier than it was. And my question was originally about the millennial thing, the generational thing. 100% if you look back at boomers.
Yeah.
How often did your parents go to the fucking doctor? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
So if you go from boomers then to millennials, but then I think again Gen Z, and this is again how Gen Z, well done Jack, are paving the way for opening the conversation about anxiety, be it gender. What's the term? Like, so gender
fluidity,
identity, and political stuff, and just they're opening the conversation even more. And so you'd look at boomers looking at Gen Zers going, they're a bunch of whingers, but actually, in fact, there is a bravery in opening up and talking about it. And I hear you. On the fact
like you hear someone like, you can't say anything these days. Everyone's too sensitive. I think that's like, and you hear the term woke,
snowflakes, woke. Yeah.
Like they're all fucking terrible. Well, woke is actually I claim to be. I would like to be woke. I would like to be more woke than I already am because I want to be as awake as I can.
Yeah, it shouldn't
to
be a
other
bad
people's
term.
difference.
It shouldn't be a bad term.
Like, come on, think about it.
Yeah.
I want to be as knowledgeable as I can. I don't want to I don't want to overexert myself in not offending anybody because I want to stay true to who I am. But at the same time, there is this thing that like you're going to offend someone in your life, and that's okay. But as long as you can come and sit at a table and go, I'm really sorry if that offended you, but here's what I believe. As long as it's not preachy, like everything in moderation. But like, how can you do that when there is this there is still a huge silence in all of this, in all of, and especially women's pain.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're coming to. In that, like, yes, people talk about everything so much, but also maybe that's creating some sort of massive vacuum of people that we can't cut through the noise. But in women's pain, I think we need to find a voice, and we need to stop infighting. We need to stop creating this ideal of perfect. And I think we need to kind of get together and go, it's okay for us to talk about the pain that we are expected to put up with on a daily basis.
We also need advocacy from the other side.
We do.
We also need teenage boys not to be creating Epstein file floats for Paddy's Day.
Fucking hell. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll get on to that in the next episode. But like, that was crazy.
Horrific.
What the fuck? How was that allowed into the parade?
Who said yes to that? Give me their number. Immediately.
I'll show you pain.